What's up, guys? It's your boy D Fresh in the building, guys. What we're gonna do today, we're gonna get into Monday's game plan, but in a couple weeks with football, we got that Super Bowl coming up. But guess what this week is? It is the Super Bowl in the stock market. It is the chance for you to make a whole lot of money if you being disciplined and you following the right plays. It's so important for you guys to tap into this video. That way you guys know what the plan is, you know what the assignment is, and you can be able to dominate this mission. Let's go ahead and jump right to it. Let's see if we got anything that'll rock the markets tomorrow. We have new home sales at 10 o'clock in the morning, but we know how to react when we see data drops. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Earnings for this week right here, guys. You got SoFi coming up. That's going to be a good one right there. That's going to drop tomorrow morning before the market even open. You got Boeing Tuesday morning. You got JetBlue. You got StarBucks that's dropping. You got Tesla, you got Meta, you got Microsoft, you got IBM, you got WM Waste Management, you got INTC, you got Apple, you got Visa, you got ExxonMobil. This is going to be a fun week. You should be able to load up and make a nice bag by the end of this week. The money ain't going to just fall into your pocket. You got to stay disciplined. Let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to do something a little different than this one right here. Instead of following my normal chart, the 5-minute, the week of earnings, I always like to go to the hour time frame to see what they do, to see if the earnings is good, see how high they're going to try to pop this thing up, or see how low they're going to try to retrace before popping back up. Guys, make no mistake about it. We are in a bull market right now. Even if these earnings is bad and they pull back, look at that. If you interested in any of these companies as a buying opportunity to load up, because a lot of these tech giants, a lot of these companies are all rocking with the new administration. As you see, if you look at the inauguration, you've seen a lot of those giants sitting there side by side with them at some of these celebration parties with them. So I expect these tickers to boom throughout the years. Will they give us some pullback? Absolutely. Nothing goes straight up. They always try to retrace and come back down to give you a chance to get back on that airplane, to get back on that train, to get back on there and try to ride it up and make some money along the way. First ticker out of the gate, newbies, beginners. Got a couple for you that's going to drop. All of these plays are earning plays that's going to drop this week. You got SoFi. Expect a lot of sideways trading towards power hour, and then they'll try to make a move either to the upside or to the downside. If earnings is good, you're going to see that 1850 level get smacked out of the way, and they're going to try to boom this thing back up to that $20 area. That's something to pay attention to. On the downside, if that earnings report isn't what Wall Street is looking for, look for them to jump into this area down here at 1660. No, we ain't even worried about the turbulence right here, because if they got some speed and they trying to push this thing down, we coming all the way back down to that 1560 level. And don't rule out this level down here at 13 bucks. We know they can pull back, but we just got to be in the right direction and follow that path as they trying to show us that downward pressure. But again, like I said, don't get wrapped up in puts, because I do think they gonna get to where they need to be at. They're gonna drop down to a certain level, and they're gonna try to climb that ladder right back up. You scalpers, this is a great week for you guys, because you know if you scalping a play, the rule of thumb is make your money and get out of that play. Raise your stop loss up. It ain't no reason why that play should reverse and come back and smack you and take your money. Raise those stop losses up to where you still gonna be in profit regardless if they try to go the opposite direction that you're playing. So you still get out of that play making money. Scalping is in and out. It's quick. Some money, some profit, and get out of that play. We ain't marrying no direction. We do not do that. Next ticker up, we gonna throw out there Boeing, BA. Got some levels of interest to pay attention to. Right now with BA, we want to see them pop this thing. Don't rule out on a good earnings. 182 level they try to pop back up to. I got it at 181.50. So they sitting around 176 now. What we want to see is them open up really good, strong, and boom that thing. You got that 181 level. They break through that. They're going to set their sights back up to 182, 183. 185, 187, 190. So it's possible for them to do that. Again, every story has two different sides of it. You got that upside, but we know it's always that opportunity to come back down. So what we want to see on the downside, you want to see them get through all of this stuff right here. 173.75, they start breaking through out of that. Do not rule out this stuff down here. 164.70, 165, them coming back down to that level right there. So those are areas of interest for you to pay attention to. And once they start breaking through these lows down here, I'll update in real time. Our next area of interest is going to sit down around that 157 area. So this is a good week right here to make a lot of money, again, by staying disciplined. Next ticker we're going to throw at you guys is going to be StarBucks. They're already sitting pretty good. They're sitting at 98.80, taking that they have some good momentum, and their report comes back and Wall Street is agreeing to that report. Don't rule out a boom up to that 103 level for them to pop back up there. So that is a good $5 run up. On the downside, do not rule out on a negative report them coming back down to tap that $95 area. And then they got some work to do, some playing games in here. I call it turbulence. 93, you start losing that level down there, coming back down to $91. Next level down is going to be that 89.95. If they start showing some pressure on the downside and that report again isn't favorable, Bear's going to try to smack that down to $86 before the bulls start getting hyped up and booming these things up. These levels that I'm giving you today are areas of interest where the bulls have historically popped that thing back up once it hit those areas. So that's what I'm going to be looking for after the earnings on that. The SoFi earnings report, again, is before the market opens Monday morning. BA and StarBucks is Tuesday at closing. Man, you scalpers again that like to play the up momentum before the earnings release, then again, understand the assignment and dominate the mission. You know, you quick ins and quick outs. Again, we ain't marrying any play. That's what you got in this play right here. Big baller shot callers, where y'all at? I got some good ones for you guys. We got the big boy in the house. Tesla have earnings at closing on Wednesday. You got Tesla, you got Meta, you got Microsoft. So we're going to throw those at you, show you what the potential is for these tickers. Tesla on a little downward press right now. They're sitting at 406. We want, with a good earnings, man, Tesla, they going to set their sights back on that 587 area. They're going to try to boom this thing. And guys, we know what Tesla can do once they start getting cooking. Tesla is going to be well over 500 down the road. So you can count on that. You can bank on that. Will it have some pullback? Absolutely. They have been showing us that pullback. But Tesla is going to get to 500. You can mark it on your charts. It's going to happen. And we know, again, what Wall Street is trying to do with this ticker right here. If it's favorable, they're going to boom this thing. This thing could jump up so high. We've seen it happen before. On the downside, we already know what Tesla can do. They have showed us sites that they can drop this thing down. So I got a level down here. If it's unfavorable, I have a level. They're going to come back to show us that 370, 330 area. And they start losing that area right there, it can really get nasty. They can pick up some speed and smack this thing all the way back down to that 360 area. And if they still showing some press, watch this. Boom, you got 345 on deck. That's going to be a super heavy level. If they get to that point, I expect the bulls to boom that thing up. But if bulls are unsuccessful and Wall Street is still trying to push this thing down, check this level out. Boom, you got 330. So they can keep pushing. You already know with Tesla, I'll be updating that thing all throughout the session. The next morning come and we see what they're trying to do. Once they identify themselves, we'll be all over that play and smacking the levels out of the ballpark. Next ticker we're going to throw out, we're going to throw Meta. Here's another one that we know once they get the cooking, they can start booming this thing. So good earnings, they can boom this thing. You got 655. They're going to try to pop this thing too. They're going to go to that 670 area. And man, do not rule out them booming this thing up to the $700 mark. And you probably sitting back like, man, that's a $50 pump. This is going to move. They gonna push this stock up. Again, pay attention to the current events out there. You see the CEO, who he hanging with, who was at his inauguration. You see it's gonna be support around these platforms, and you're gonna see these tickers make some moves in this year 2025. Their stuff is unfavorable, which, you know, Wall Street likes to play games. Everybody in their mind thinking it's going to be a good earnings. They're going to boom this thing up. If you got a strategy to play earnings, by all means, do you play earnings? But my move is trying to play what they show us after earnings. If they booming, then we got levels to pay attention to. We'll rock that play to the upside. But again, every ticker has two sides of the story. They can boom this thing to the downside. If the report isn't favorable, look at this area down here. We got 588.30 that they can drop this thing all the way back down to. So again, it's a couple levels in there that bulls can take advantage of. On the downside, you got a 630 area. You have a 621 area that bulls can show up at. You got 610 area. Once they start breaking the 610 and they still showing downward pressure, I'm looking at this level right here, 604, before they collapse back down to 588. There's a couple levels to the downside once you start seeing that pressure. The big part of that move is going to happen, of course, when they announce the earnings. And we can't play those plays right there because the market is usually closed. But we can see what they're trying to do in pre-market the next day. And once that bell ring, see what they're trying to do. If they popping real good, we're going to ride that wave up. But do not ever rule out the rug pull. Wall Street is never going to give you plays that you can easily make money on. That's why you got to stick to your plan. Make sure that risk management is in check and sit back and enjoy the ride. Again, we ain't marrying no plays. We getting in, we getting out, unless you buying 3 weeks out, you buying a month out. And these are plays that you looking to boom towards your direction of choice. Next ticker up, we gonna do Microsoft. They're at 443. Again, this is another one that could boom it. A good earnings could take us to that top right there, 447. But then we ain't even paying attention to that. Wall Street, they get behind this one. Boom. You got 455 on deck. Check this one. Boom. We know how aggressive those green bullish candles can get once they start riding. So you got 468 en route to 470. Do not rule out a surge towards that $500 mark. So they can really get pushing. On the downside, what we want to see on a negative earnings, and Wall Street is pushing this thing down. We want to see them get back down to that 435 level. They start losing that one down there. You got 424 on deck with some good momentum. You got, boom, 410. This right here is going to be turbulence. Usually once they get in my turbulence area, these are still areas that bulls can pounce on. But once they start breaking through that, boom, 385 is on deck. So I'll definitely on a downside be looking at the 400 mark to see how they react down there. If they get to that point, then my next area is going to be all attention on 385. So there are some areas right there, but I personally not interested in the downside press unless they're showing us that. But for long term, I'm looking at the upside because, again, I have full belief that these plays are long-term plays and you can dominate and make some money on these plays. One last play, big baller shot callers I'm going to throw out for you guys because I can't walk out of this without Apple, and I'll probably be walking down Apple and adding that to part of my call outs for this whole week because Apple can move the market. If Apple is booming, everything else is going to boom with Apple. Maybe not Tesla. Tesla has its own mind. It's a beast of its own. So if Apple get to booming, they earnings is good. You got this level up here at 240. They start busting through that. Look at this top up here. 260 area. That is some good money to the upside, but again, to the downside with some negative stuff. You got 210 on deck. They lose this level right here at 209. Check this out. Boom, you got 180. Bears will set their sights on that level down there. That is an area where bulls have exploded this ticker, and they can ride this thing back up. So again, it's plays for you if you are a bear. It's plays for you to get bearish. It's plays for you to be bullish. So long-term outlook for D-Fresh, it is to the upside in every ticker that I've thrown out here today. Unless something crazy go down. They had some bad press, you know, with BA. You never can tell what goes on with them. It seemed like they're in the news every other week. So I'm bullish until I'm not bullish. Guys, I hope you found value in this video right here. But to those that's watching, that's not in the Discord, get in that Discord. That way you got full access to the morning list of call outs as well as the top play technical analysis breakdowns throughout the session. So guys, I done took enough of your time, but hey, if you like sniper type level to level periodic breakdowns of your favorite tickers, SPY, NVIDIA, Tesla, Palantir, Hut, Hood, Nike, go ahead and tap into the Discord. The link is in the description above. If you like this kind of content, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button below. Subscribe to the channel. That way, anytime we drop a video, you get the notification. And as always, we grinding. Good luck out there, and let's get it. Boom.